Professional development isn't broken, but a lot of it is misaligned. While most teachers aren't asking for more PD, they are asking for better PD. Today, I'm putting the please stop list right next to the this actually helps list. Guys, if you've ever walked out of PD more discouraged than inspired, you're going to feel seen today. Hi, friend. Are you ready to move into a leadership position? Do you have interests and ambitions that you want to pursue, but feel like you don't know how to take that next step? Maybe you want to start your own coaching or consulting agency. I'm Mel, and I help educators define their career path through correct mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for your career transition. I will show you how to level up your leadership skills, share your expertise in a new way, create impact on a larger scale, and put your leadership in motion. As an educator for over 20 years, I started to feel underused and like I had more to give. I knew when the time had come for me to leave the classroom and affect change on a larger level. Now, I'm ready to help you determine where your talents and skills mesh with your passions and interests. Put your leadership in motion and move into that next phase of your educational career journey. Let me help you define your career path by having the right mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for that next leadership position. So power up and put your leadership in motion. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Mel Van DeVoort. You guys know that I'm a PD junkie. So here's how I want to do this today. I'm not just going to list what teachers don't want as far as PD, because that only tells half the story. And I want you to know both sides of the story. And for everything teachers are tired of, there's a clear opposite that they're actually asking for, and that's actually research-based and much better for professional learning. So I'm going to walk you through 10 of them today, side by side. And as you listen, I want you to notice which ones make you nod your head and think, yep, that was me as a teacher. And then which ones challenge you as a leader. This isn't about complaining, it's about clarity. If we want professional development to matter to our teachers, we have to be honest about what teachers are done with, what they're over as far as professional development is concerned, and then what they're actually asking for. So the number one don't want is PD with no clear purpose. What teachers really do want is a clear objective and a reason why this matters. And that is research-based, guys. We're adults. We want to know why you're making us learn this and what value it has for us. If teachers don't know the why within the first few minutes of professional development, you've already lost them. And if you yourself don't know the reason you're holding the PD or you're doing that type of PD or how it's going to be beneficial, then you would be better off not doing any PD at all. Number two, what they don't want, sit and get sessions. What they actually do want is active learning that they can immediately apply. They can learn it right now. They can walk out of the doors, go into their classroom, and implement that exact strategy. So you're going to model, you're going to practice, or you're going to give them those valuable strategies that they can try today or tomorrow or whenever they get back in the classroom. The number three don't want is a one-size-fits-all PD. What they do want is choice and differentiation. We preach differentiation to our teachers for our students. Why do we not give differentiated professional development to our teachers? It has to be relevant to their role. It may not be relevant to have a professional development over something for kindergarten and first grade and make high school sit in that PD session. Some things that are actually a one-size-fits-all are things like teach like a champion strategies. Those are across the board and work for every grade level and every content area. But when you're setting up your PD, think about grade bands or content areas or experience levels. And guess what? You don't have to be the one who does all the PD. If you have a teacher who can do some of the wonderful PD over some of the strategies they're using in their classroom, then give them the opportunity to shine and take some of the load off of you. Number 4, don't want strategies with no follow-up. What they do want is support, coaching, and time to implement and practice. You know that I am all about being in the classroom, giving one bite-sized piece of information or strategy or feedback, and then giving them time to practice it. If you have to, model it, and then let them take it back. When I hold my PD sessions, I model everything, and then I give them time to implement it, but I go in there and I'm looking for those strategies that we learned about in a PD session. PD without follow-up, it's just information, guys. Sure, they may try it, but they might not do it correctly, or they might give up and say, I don't even care anymore, because they don't even come in and make sure they're helping me or supporting me. The number 5 don't want is a data dump. What teachers really do want is data with clear next steps. Not every teacher knows what to do with the data that you hand them. Teachers don't fear data, guys. They fear not knowing what to do with it or not how to break it down and then apply that information in their context. The number 6 don't want is trend chasing. What they do want is something sustainable, those sustainable practices that actually work in their classroom. It becomes sustainable if it's relevant to their context and if it's applicable to their context. And if you're going to add professional development based on something that you've seen, you need to give it more than just a few months to try it out and see if it works before moving on to the next trend, because they don't have time to actually implement it and build success if you say, oh, this is not working, let's go on to the next thing. The number 7 don't want is PD that creates more work. What they do want is PD that simplifies or it streamlines what they're already doing, or it replaces something else that is ineffective that you've actually given time to see if it's effective or not. If it's an add-on, it's probably a no. Now, I am going to say that it is okay to scaffold in professional development. Start small and then work up. So yes, you're adding something, but you're adding something that makes sense and is relevant to what you've already taught them. Let me give you an example to clear up what I'm saying. When I was a principal, I added a reading and math program. It was fantastic, but it was a lot. My teachers didn't have the capacity to internalize all of it on their own or in a short amount of time. So I had to hire a consultant from the company to come in multiple times to scaffold in the learning of that program so my teachers could internalize parts of it a little at a time. And then they were able to implement the whole entire program with no problem because they learned it a little bit at a time and they were able to internalize it, practice it, and then get support with that before we added something else. The number 8 don't want is being talked at. What they do want is being listened to and included. Nobody wants to sit forever and just listen to you talk. And you might think that this is really just sit and get, but I'm going to equate it to maybe like a book study where somebody's just reading to you. I recently learned about a leader who would, during PD, would sit and read a book, a leadership book, and then just ask questions about that. My heart hurt for the teachers sitting in that room. I think that's different than the sit and get model because I think actually there's some learning happening with the sit and get. You're just not able to maybe apply it in that context or at that moment. So when you get back to your classroom, you don't know how to apply it because you haven't had the opportunity to practice it, or it might not have been modeled. The number 9 don't want is PD that's disconnected from current realities. What teachers do want is PD that acknowledges burnout, behavior, and time constraints. So when you're thinking about your professional development for the year, do not add something big in April. Teachers don't have the capacity for that in April. If you want to start something big, start it at the beginning of the year and work on that thing throughout the year, and then add something to that next year. And I think I might have mentioned this before, but when I first started with my professional development this year, I realized my teachers weren't exactly where I thought they were because they hadn't heard of some of this stuff, because we're a private school. And so the things that I just hear about all the time in public education had not ever been introduced in the private sector. And so I had to kind of take a step back and meet my teachers where they were for the year. The number 10 don't want is compliance-based PD. Now, there may be some things that are just non-negotiables. All of those training videos at the beginning of the school year that you hate, the bullying, the child abuse, all of that, those really are important. And yes, those are compliance-based PDs, but those aren't going away. But what teachers really do want, other than those, is some growth-focused professional development built on trust and professionalism. This literally is the personalized or self-directed PD. It's job embedded. It's collaborative. This would be like your PLCs. At the end of the day, guys, great PD, it's not about impressing your teachers. It's about serving them. It's about helping them grow and be better instructional leaders. When PD respects time and honors expertise and connects to the real work that's happening in their classroom, it stops feeling like something that teachers have to survive, they have to do, and it starts feeling like something that actually supports their growth. You are the instructional leader in your building, and my encouragement is this: before planning your next PD session, ask yourself, does this drain energy or does it restore it? Because when teachers are supported well, students are going to feel it. And that's the work that truly matters. Remember, guys, keep showing up, keep leading with clarity, and remember, empowered leaders empower others by going the extra mile to motivate, inspire, lead, and empower. Bye-bye.